Welcome to the Spirit Podcast, and this show is brought to you by Ivy League Brand.
Yeah, that's right, guys. We have an official sponsor. Go check them out at ivyleaguebrand.com, ivyleaguebrand.com. Use promo code Spirit Podcast to get yourself 16% off your purchase.
And the link will be in the description to go to that website, and thank you very much. Enjoy the show. Episode 49. Ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Dom?
Yeah.
You know what occurred to me today as I was walking?
Yeah.
You were wearing Crocs. Okay?
You're
Not only...
comfortable.
No. Shush. Okay? Not only Crocs, but an off-brand of Crocs. And they
Walmart.
were black. You didn't
Oh,
even have
baller on a budget.
the little figure things,
Oh
man,
my
that go
God,
on them.
not 7.
I used to collect those.
Oh, God. You would.
Oh, man, but dude, that was bad. I don't know what you're doing. And I saw you take them off just as we were about to start the podcast.
I know, yeah.
Because I think that would ruin our
you,
confidence.
yeah, you did.
I don't
Well,
know.
you already shot at the shit, so.
Well, we have a guest, though, Dom.
Yes, we do have a guest
We have
today.
a guest.
Yes.
His name's Tommy. Tommy, say hello.
Hello.
There he is.
That wasn't bad. That was a good
That was
hello,
good.
dude.
He's ready.
I just got that dramatic flair going on, just a little, like,
I think
I
it's
turned into the
whiskey
mic a little
talking.
bit.
We're going to be playing this head game all day. Well, like, I'm not trying to get too close to Tommy's face.
Don't say head game and then go like this.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You
you're
look
right.
like a
Damn
chicken
it.
doing
Fucking
something
A.
interesting.
I make fun of you Crocs, and then I sound more homosexual.
Yeah, you definitely turned into the skid there.
Speaking about that a little, as I
Homosexual?
take a sip of my kombucha.
Yeah. Peach pineapple. It's a nice combo. I've had that one. It's delicious.
It's not bad, dude. And so at work today,
Yes.
I was working at a different site than I usually do.
Mm-hmm.
And you ever get those kids that like randomly hang around the school after hours, even though they're in no activity whatsoever that has to do with the school?
Loners?
Yes. And those loners. So I walk up on a conversation. My kids, or I call them my kids, are talking to these kids, right? And you could definitely tell they're in like 6th or 7th grade. And all I hear is like little, I'm going to call him Timmy, little Timmy go, "So you're a girl, but you like to be known as a dude?" And I heard that from like 100 feet away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, no. And I look at the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy.
Guy.
I knew that was coming. And apparently, she wears, I feel bad wearing, they wear a head, those things that they wear in the kitchen. What are those called, bro?
Hairnets?
Hairnets.
Yes.
And she was wearing a hairnet underneath her hat.
Why?
And when I walked up there, they were talking about it, and all I could see was her going, "See, I do this because I want to act like more of a boy because that's what I truly am."
Wow. Do you truly know that at 6?
And dude, I
At 6th
can't make
grade?
this up.
I know
Well,
you can't.
she was definitely a middle schooler.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Question, biologically male or female? Because I totally thought it was biologically male at first.
Biologically a female.
Biological. Okay, so then
That's
you were
why-
correct.
Well,
It
what's
is a guy.
biology mean, Tommy? There's
Biology is
nothing
not
anymore.
even-
What does
It's
biology
just,
mean?
It's whatever we feel, man. It's happening now.
Dude, that's all it is.
I started this podcast a girl, and in the middle of it, I changed it. I'm gonna change it
And
back.
nobody knew.
No one knew, because it didn't really fucking happen. Did it?
I was more making the joke that you just always look. But,
Thank
yeah.
you.
No,
I
you're
try my
welcome.
best to
You're
be
welcome.
androgynous as best I can, so I can slip in and out. And like,
Yeah, but no,
facial hair
that's-
gives me away.
So, but that was the thing. Like, it's crazy that like in Canada, she can legally start the transition, right? She was definitely in middle school. I know that.
Right.
Or is it a legal thing that the government can now?
Dude, they're in some places in America, they're just taking kids out of houses if you don't like allow them to do this change at any age. Just taking your kid.
Yeah, there's a case with that one dad who he wouldn't call his son a girl, and there's a court order against him. This was in, I think, California.
Sounds about
All
right.
the weird
sounds
shit
about
comes
right.
from California.
Yeah.
And they court ordered him to call his son a girl, or else he would, I think, lose visitation rights.
Yes.
Maybe it was a fine or something.
See, here's what you gotta. This is how you gauge it. If it's super liberal, it's probably from California. If it's super conservative, it's probably from Florida
Or Texas.
or Texas. If it's just super like
Or
it's like
Texas.
it's like dude shot dude over Wendy's drive-through chicken fried thing. It's probably Florida.
Or Chris that just got off of prep.
Exactly. Right. Or, woman transitioned to a boy but then went back to a girl to find its true love with a dog. Probably California.
Most likely.
Probably California.
Yeah, what's interesting, what's kind of crazy about, like, the whole, transvestite thing is the relativism that goes into it. So it's like the idea that your reality is based entirely on what you perceive, not on what's actually true.
Reality.
Yeah, not on actual reality.
Or
Yeah,
biology. So it's fun.
yeah. Biology's a fad. According to
Yeah, it
them.
is exactly.
So do you think it's a mental illness?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
my thought is, it's like, where does this? It can't be genetic.
I don't know.
Well, my thoughts are kind of, it's a mental illness born out of worldview.
Okay.
So like if
can
you
get down
lived
with
your
that.
whole life thinking that, oh, woman and man is just a social construct,
Yeah.
and then you decide to become a woman, like, is that mental illness really, or is that just your worldview's so fucked up?
Yeah, and no one wants to question it.
Yeah,
No one
and I'm
wants-
not
Yeah.
saying it because I think it is. I'm just saying it because I wanted to ask you guys because you're obviously.
Yeah, Chris is trying to get a job later. So he's just making sure he covers bases. I'm not saying that I think it's stupid. Am I? You know what I'm saying?
No, it's just like whenever you. This is gonna sound so bad, but fuck it. Like whenever you talk to people with like that, think in that way, it's something's up. Something's up.
up.
You know, and I'm saying that because I don't. Yeah, I'm not
Trying to do a job
I'm
later.
not trying to lose the YouTube coverage.
Oh my god, yeah, with the new rules, we could be gone tomorrow. Bro. If anyone cared enough to listen to us, be
38
fucked.
subscribers. You never know,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
You guys
One
will
of
just be famous one day and someone will uncover this video.
Oh god, that's my fear. It's just like we have 100 billion subscribers all of a sudden. We listened to episode 4. You guys racist as shit. It's like no. You misconstrued. Doesn't matter.
Dude, if we do ever hit like a certain amount of subscribers, we're gonna have to just like
Scrub.
delete the first 50 videos.
Easy.
We're starting new.
Yeah, new show. Who dis? No, it's completely over. It's like those Instagram accounts that are like, I can't post all the things I want to post on my Instagram. Follow me here. It's just stupid
Oh,
ads.
they make like a Finsta.
What's up with like anyone know about these like paid Instagrams where you can like you pay a subscription fee to follow someone and then they like post nudes and shit all over it?
Oh, there was like a whole
Whoa.
scandal with Snapchat.
Snapchat's doing the same thing.
Yeah. Where like the
private
it'll,
Snapchats.
if you
Are they
follow
making
them,
it illegal?
I don't know.
I think so. No, it's a tax thing. Is it weird I read about that? I feel like it's weird that I read about
No,
that.
please inform because like that's
I love this. Tommy knows about this shit.
yeah, because like you just see a lot of people that are like, oh, follow me on my my private Snapchat. If you pay $15 a month, you can see everything.
So they just have to have like an Apple.
Everything off.
I'm gonna fucking follow. Do they have like an Apple subscription to like you know how you pay for apps a month?
Yeah.
Like I pay $10 a month for this one like lifting app or
Right.
whatever. But is that a
don't
thing
know.
where it's
Tommy, please instruct. I don't know.
So
Article 42 says
they're actually sponsored by Venmo.
Oh wow.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, they were caught because they weren't paying taxes on those dollars.
Oh yeah. Okay, but
Isn't
to
that
be
the
fair,
funny thing? Like, this is porn.
This
Like,
is porn, and we caught it on taxes.
I guess they probably feel like
So,
Al Capone after that
What
shit.
if you? Oh, good point. What if you're in Vegas and you have that? Does it matter? Because they allow prostitution.
Wasn't that like the law? It's like wherever you're paying from,
Right.
that's where you get taxed. So I guess if you live in
Well, then if you had
live in Las
viewers-
Vegas,
Can you just wrap your head around that? Like, okay, if you're in, let's say, Wyoming and you want to smoke weed, hire a prostitute, and like do whatever, you're 100% illegal. You're breaking the law. But if you go to Vegas, you can just smoke a bunch of pot and hire a prostitute, couple of them, stay in your hotel room, and just have a feast. And you're in the law.
Yeah.
You're within the law.
I think the problem with it was because Snapchat might have not wanted them to do that. But I'm just saying
Why
the
is
actual thing is
Snapchat-
probably. I mean, isn't it
Snapchat was
legal because
founded
doesn't
on-
it people pay for Pornhub though?
Well, no. Well, it's the
Well, they
thing.
have-
Yeah,
they
they
have
have that.
Subscriptions.
I
So
don't
isn't that the
know.
same thing?
Yes.
But it's just the app.
But they
that
weren't
does it.
taxing it. That's the problem that they found. But wasn't Snapchat founded on the premise of
Well-
sending nudes? Like,
well,
wasn't
I don't
it?
think Snapchat had a
that's
problem
what
with
it
that.
was
I think what they were doing is
Government did, yeah.
the payment was separate from Snapchat, so Snapchat didn't even get involved. Like there was there's no payment venue.
Remember
on
when Snapchat was just Snapchat and there wasn't fucking ads and subscriptions and bullshit?
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that?
Like a
Remember just-
news feed. There's a
Barely.
news
There's a
feed on
news feed.
Snapchat.
Don't
now.
tell me what I should. Thank you, liberal America. I don't need to know.
Yeah, they'll say things like Kylie Jenner said what?
Yeah. Oh, God.
I must know.
Yeah. No, I don't need
Dude,
to.
I went
No,
on a
thank you.
rant a couple episodes about Kardashians, man.
I did. Yeah, you did.
Well, it was
Good.
Tommy. I don't know if you heard of this, but what was it like?
Kylie Jenner was the youngest self-made billionaire.
But
I
to
have heard of
make her a self-made billionaire, people donated.
Yeah, there's some people that donated to a Patreon or whatever it was to get her up there.
Well,
I think they raised like $10,000.
I mean, I gotta have a little bit of sympathy for them. I mean, they obviously didn't think she was rich enough. I mean, they
Right,
could.
exactly. We got kids starving, and someone actually
Well, I
made
mean, okay,
$10,000.
set aside the starving children in Africa for a second. She needs her shoes, man.
Exactly. She
Well,
does.
shoe brand, like her.
Yeah, she needs more.
Yeah, like the fact that they would rather donate to that and not like the sad
Feed
puppy
our-
commercials I saw today.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well-
feed our starving children and Kylie Jenner. Click.
Well, I mean, there is something to be said though for like donations.
Yes.
A lot of people were saying about the Notre Dame fire. They were saying
Yeah.
you shouldn't donate to that. And my thought is, like, you should donate to starving children in Africa or AIDS.
Right.
I don't know, whatever the fuck instead. My thought is, if you're donating money, I mean, A, it's your money to donate, but
Right.
B, nobody would have gotten mad if you hadn't donated a thing.
Right.
Nobody would have gotten mad.
But yeah, I saw that and I was like, I kind of got angry. People were like, you shouldn't donate to Notre Dame thing, blah blah blah. It was a fire that happened, whatever. It's like, yeah, let them donate. And then I realized that the money they raised could have cleaned up the Pacific Ocean. Like the $1 billion they raised could have cleaned up
Is
the
the
Pacific.
oceans that bad?
Yeah, some places, yeah, but yes.
Damn.
Yes. There's like a
oceans are
garbage island where it's
Yes,
just,
I am good.
just kidding. Yeah, I was like against the anti-donating to Notre Dame thing, and then when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, that'd probably be a better spend of money. Cause
Yeah, but there's something to be said for,
Right.
First off, nobody can donate to everything.
right.
But
Sure,
for the
for
people who
Bill Gates.
can donate to, like, a lot of things, there's no reason why they can't donate to both. These people,
Sure.
you bet they could afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If they
you're
could
right.
afford the millions they donated to, Notre Dame, they could have also donated.
And it's
instead of
Notre
instant-
Dame. Sorry, we're
Notre Dame.
bastardizing.
But I
it.
love how it only comes up that's a huge deal that they're now starting to donate to, what was it called? The church.
Notre
Notre
Dame.
Dame.
The Notre Dame. Like, they could choose. Sorry, Dom. My list is bad.
This is his lip.
Like, if it wasn't a thing, those people that are making it a big deal that they want to donate other places,
Right.
this only got brought up because this Notre Dame thing happened.
Right.
They weren't complaining to the
Right.
billionaires.
They weren't
like,
saying why weren't you
why
donating
aren't you
to that? Yeah.
donating like this, there, and that? Like,
Yeah.
until the Notre Dame thing happened.
Yeah.
So that's very weird. That I don't know.
It's just selective anger.
Yeah.
People just want to get pissed about something.
That's so stupid, though, man.
Yeah, it is.
That's so stupid. They were talking about that on the CT
yeah.
Fletcher podcast that you, for some reason, don't want to
Oh
listen
yeah,
to.
I can't listen to it.
Why?
I tried. Did you listen? Do you listen to Joe Rogan?
Occasionally, but
occasionally.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
tried because you said it was an awesome podcast, and I was like, okay, I'll listen to it. Not that I was like, oh, I don't really want to.
Was it because they were talking about death?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm super scared of dying.
Okay.
Super scared.
Okay.
That's
what I figured it was.
I was getting tearful. I was like, I'm so scared of dying.
Really? Dude,
Yeah.
his story, that guy is flatlined 5 times.
Yeah, man.
5 fucking times.
Whoa.
Ay.
Yeah. So that's the thing. He got a whole new heart
Heart,
transplant, right? And he's talking about like how the new heart. It's a lady's heart, by the way. It's a lady's heart. But he was saying, and he was in CT Fletcher. But that's the thing. Like he was talking about how apparently how women's hearts, if they do ever get into a transplant, like you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
where they go into another body, that it's not good for them to go into a male's body.
Women's hearts?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because I guess it's like, because it's so used to, I don't know if it's because it's a smaller body or if it's just like,
It used to, I don't know.
I don't know what it is, but apparently
Hormones in it?
the heart itself grew to the size it needed to be
That's
in CT
fucking
Fletcher.
Weird.
And within weeks. Like, so they're saying like,
What?
like, because like CT was all like, oh my gosh, dude, like, because he read up on it. Obviously, he's getting a heart transplant.
Yeah, you wanna
you know,
know.
and like he wanted to like hopefully get a guy's, not anything against girls, just
Sounded like it was against girls.
but it just to the fact that it's just not good
Yeah.
according to the research. But the actual heart fucking grew to the size it needed to be a foundation for CT's heart, like body.
Wow.
That's insane,
That's some,
dude.
animalistic shit.
That is so insane.
We're aliens. That's it.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, like, have you ever read like a book and thought like I'm reading or read Robinson Crusoe, and it's like the survival book, a guy stranded on an island alone. Everyone knows about Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah.
But
Hoff does.
I was thinking there was
Kind of do.
there was some weird thing where in the book corn, it's completely fictional. Corn fell on the ground and then grew to and then grew. And he's on a tropical island. Corn shouldn't be able to grow.
Right.
So you're thinking like, okay, well, give me a break. It's a tropical island. But then you hear about weird shit like that, the guy's heart.
Yeah. Right.
And then all of a sudden, you're like, maybe that could happen.
Well,
maybe.
my uncle has Berger's disease, so his veins are shit. You get it from smoking cigarettes and shit. Mm-hmm. So he has Berger's disease, and his vein that led from his hand to his like carotid artery failed. Like it was failing.
Really?
So they took a vein from the back of his calf that went down to his foot and put it in his arm because this one would grow back.
Really? Do you know they do this? They
Wow.
the same shit with Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
The surgery that I had, they take the ulnar collateral ligament, right? I guess we have another one in our calf.
Oh,
So when that one busts, you really don't need the one in your calf, apparently. So they take the one in your calf and put it in your fucking elbow. So now you're throwing with basically your calf.
so much foot, you fucking
So there's
weirdo.
5 miles an hour added to your fastball.
That's just weird. Does that grow back or no? The one in your calf? Because that's just strange.
Well, like lizards, when they lose their tail,
just grow right back.
just go right back.
Talk about some lizard shit.
Isn't it crazy that your brain never processes any of that also?
What?
Like you don't
You never
realize
think
it's
about.
happening.
You never think that you're growing. Like you never realize.
Yeah. Like
that
I'm
you're
gonna sit
growing
down
and-
for a couple minutes
Oh.
to let my ulnar collateral ligament glow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or like let this heart grow for a little bit.
Oh, it just
Like,
does it?
Yeah,
It
it just
just
does
does
it.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's awesome. God, we're fucking weird.
Well, plus that little
beings.
snaps that you just did.
Yeah.
You didn't even have to think about it.
I just did it.
But you're for that snap to happen, Dom.
A lot of
A lot of shit had to
I
happen.
hate talking about the
Dom's
body.
getting all cringy.
I hate talking about the body. When it was, I just couldn't listen to it. I was like freaking out. I can't do it. Can't hear about people like
Well,
die. Like the idea.
it almost seems like he was talking about. Sorry to make you cringe more, but every person that has had a close to death experience, they say it's the most peaceful thing they've ever experienced. And the fact when he went flatline and woke up,
He was
he
like-
said it was the most peaceful.
Yeah.
It's like he got
I
like
got
a
that
12-hour sleep,
Yeah.
and it was like he woke up all peaceful and happy.
And his wife was like, it was 8 seconds.
and he was laughing when he woke up, dude,
Yeah.
from the heart transplant. And he flatlined like I don't know how many times.
Isn't that the Joker's origin story?
What was that?
The Joker.
The Joker's
Batman.
origin story.
I thought the Joker's origin story was that
Fill
he
us in.
just, like-
Please fill us in.
I thought the
Oh
Joker's
no,
origin
just that
story
he
was
wakes up after flatlining, laughing. The Joker fell in like a vat of acid.
Well, CT does
A
laugh.
lot of place. A lot of place.
Well, no,
maybe.
because we don't need segues on this show.
No, we're
Because
good.
I thought he just fell in a vat of acid and then he just like crawled out of it and he was the Joker. I didn't know he flatlined.
Oh well, I mean, if you fall in a vat of acid.
How about
typically
the
you die, but-
Flashpoint version of Batman? That one blew my mind. In the Flashpoint version of Batman, Bruce dies.
Oh
Thomas
yeah.
becomes Batman, but like a killing Batman, and then Bruce's mother becomes the Joker.
Yeah, that one's nuts.
That was great.
What?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was so struck with grief that instead of like being sad, she was like over her son's body and just started to laugh menacingly, and then like had his blood on her hand and like put it on her mouth and had a smile like the Joker. So she becomes the Joker, and then Batman's dad becomes Batman. Yeah, that's the Flashpoint version of Batman.
See,
like an
that's why I
alternate.
don't think I could ever get into
Comics.
Marvel comics. It's Marvel, right?
Nope, DC.
DC. Sorry, my bad.
Douchebag. But
Because they got so many fucking different things going on. dude.
pay attention to
They,
this
they have like
important.
one story, one main story, but then they got like 38 other
yes,
different
that
stories.
is confusing.
Yeah, it's actually why they made the Marvel movies, is so that people who weren't fans of the comics could just watch it. Like that's why the movies are so simplistic.
Yep.
You only need to watch like
'Cause
what 16
What you see in
movies?
theaters is actually a comic book version.
What do you guys think about the last Star Wars coming out?
I don't care.
What?
At this point, dude, the Star Wars are so freaking.
The Last Jedi sucked.
Yeah, the
Yes, it
latest
did.
ones just.
I fell asleep during Han Solo.
Oh boy.
Which blows my mind. No, Tommy, did you know that Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord?
Oh my god.
I did know that Jar Jar Binks. is a
Thank
Sith Lord.
you! Another smart person you know, you son of a bitch. Pay attention.
Yeah. Do we need to go into this?
I have before, but you can tell us more.
Yeah. So Hoff, I'll enlighten you.
He loves this.
So Jar Jar Binks, he messes everything up. First off, and Dom,
I
feel
know
free
the
to fill in
fucking
gaps.
story. I know the plot. And every move that he makes, he's talking with he's moving his mouth, and that means that every move that he does, it's digital, right? So every move that he does costs them money. So why would they have his mouth moving if it wasn't a thing? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Or the
He's breathing. He's breathing.
I mean, technically, if an actor moves their mouth, they have to pay for that too. But it's like, whatever.
Chuck this ball at your face.
Right. I'm just saying, when he jumps off the bridge, the droids follow him
Yeah, apparently,
Slam.
George
what's
Lucas wanted that to be the case
Yes, he
originally.
did, yeah.
Originally, it was
did.
going to be Jar Jar Binks, going to be some sort
And
of
the
Sith
actor
Lord.
even said that. He was like, came out and said, no one appreciates the work I did because it was cut.
Yeah, they
all
really
of it
should
was
have gone with
cut.
that,
They
dude.
really did. I think it
Would've
would've
been
been
so
great.
much better.
So okay, so let's say he is a Sith. What's that gonna
he
bring
is.
to it now?
Nothing, because it's done. He
Yeah,
was
it's-
such a colossal hated figure that they were like, scrap it. Give Count Dooku. There it is. Ha, that's your guy. That's the bad guy.
They should have gone with it. They
It
should
wasn't
have
even canon. Like, he wasn't even in any
Well,
of the
apparently the
parts.
actor that plays Luke Skywalker doesn't like how they played Luke Skywalker's finish.
No, he hated it. He
what
hated
was the guy's
it.
name?
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. that's what it
Also
was.
plays the Joker.
Really?
Yes, he does the cartoon voice for the Joker.
Actors are so fucking good.
Isn't he
man.
great?
Actors are crazy.
If you ever watch him do the Joker voice, it's the most terrifying thing in the world.
I've never been a Batman guy. I've never been a Marvel, never been a DC.
Thank you for clarifying that there's two.
Yes.
I did.
Guy.
Superman's part of which?
Marvel.
Hmm.
DC.
Oh boy.
Well, you looked at my face and twitched.
I was like, DC Marvel.
Honestly, that's a
Spider-Man?
good way to cover it because there's only two options, so just say both and you're good.
Yeah, just say Marvel DC.
Star Wars tops them all.
Yeah.
The first
the studio that owns Star Wars also owns Marvel.
fucking go
Marvel Studios,
place to go
technically.
fuck yourself.
Which means we're one step closer to Jedi's being in the Marvel universe.
Stop, dude. That'd be the worst thing ever.
Crossover
Chris
of the
Pratt
century.
shows up in the new Star Wars with Groot on his shoulder.
That'd be
Fuck that,
dope.
dude.
That'd be dope.
No, it would not be.
That'd be dope.
Well, they already let this girl that didn't even have to be in there. And I'm
Exactly.
not being sexist whatsoever, but I'm sorry, Rose did not need to be in The Last Jedi whatsoever.
We somehow every time get on a rant about how much you hate Rose and how much Jar Jar
It's the
Binks is Sith
stupidest
Lord.
thing. That whole casino scene in The Last Jedi did not need to happen.
Yeah, it did. Didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, Rose sucked.
So what do you
I concur.
think? Because based on the trailer for Star Wars, it looks like Rey is being chased by Kylo Ren, but I think they're training. I don't think she's being chased.
I don't think they'll ever be a team.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, they already were.
Kylo Ren's a little bitch. He shouldn't be a Jedi.
They shouldn't
anyways.
be a real strong fighting words.
Did any of you guys get into the Marvel Extended Universe before the new ones came out?
Him?
Did you?
Me? No. Him? No.
Oh man, it was so much better. They had this whole thing where Han Solo's kid actually did not turn out to be a Sith, and spoiler alert
Yeah, if you haven't
for books that have been out for 16 years.
Yeah, if you haven't.
No, these are books, dude.
Oh, these are books.
These are books.
Oh God, no! See, we're out of the books world. Yeah.
Anything with
Yeah.
books is news to me.
We already discussed that the Harry Potter books are better than the Star Wars books, but only because we haven't read them.
No, I agree with that because there's, once again, like DC, there's 68 different Star Wars books and only, 8 Harry Potter books?
8 Harry Potter books.
That's all you need.
I don't know. I mean, I'm very opinionated on Harry Potter. I'm not a huge fan.
Gotcha.
I
didn't
take
really-
that side.
I didn't really like the movies that much, but
You're
the
not-
books
you're not a
are
Harry Potter fan?
I'm not a Harry Potter fan whatsoever.
I
think
mean,
it's a joke.
I just think it's not that well written. Like,
Oh,
you
they're
read
not.
these- Oh, okay. Then we're in
They're-
agreement.
I mean, what do you think about Deadpool?
I love Deadpool.
Podcast would have got real short. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but yep. So
Dude, the Deadpool movies weren't real good.
yeah, they were.
did
This
you-
guy hasn't seen Rocky.
Did you watch the X-Men Origins?
I did. I did. I
That
cried.
sucked.
I cried. Yeah, it's
You
okay.
cried? I didn't know
was
about
10
Deadpool
years
then.
old, and I just went, "Why the fuck would they do that?"
He's got laser eyes.
He's got laser eyes and like fucking. Well, I can't speak. Katana's in his hands. What is going on?
The merc with the mouth did not have a mouth.
mouth.
Yeah, it was garbage. I'm glad that they rebooted it with Ryan Reynolds is the perfect choice.
Yes, he
They
is.
make these things way too complicated.
How is that?
They make it way too complicated for the normal
How is
person.
that complicated?
I'm talking myself.
How is that complicated? It's a whole new movie.
There's just way too many movies, dude. How many? Okay, this is the thing. Between Star Wars and the Avengers series, how many Star Wars movies are there out, Dom?
Well, technically, you
Like,
have,
let's say 9.
you have Rogue One, you have Han Solo, you have.
Don't even count Han Solo.
I count. Han Solo.
Rogue One to The Force Awakens
Han
and
Solo was
Last Jedi.
good.
No, it wasn't.
There's like 9 or 10 of the movies, isn't there?
Let's say 9.
All right, have to satisfy you in the main. I guess what is it? Trilogy? No, it's not a trilogy. There's 9 of them. There are
Saga.
8. There are 8
Eight.
currently.
Okay.
Yes.
And how many Avengers movies did it take to get to the end game? Like 20.
I
22.
think that's better.
No, it's not because they have. The reason they have
I
22 movies,
I
dude, is
explained
because
this
a
to
lot of
Aaron.
them suck.
No,
like Ant-Man
what?
did
That's
not
a
even
great
need to
movie.
be there.
Did you not watch
No,
Ant-Man?
I've never
It's
watched
a great
them.
movie.
I've only watched like Iron Man.
Hey, dude, I went into Ant-Man the same way. I was like, this is going to blow. And I was like, that was really good. And I watched Ant-Man and Wasp. It was really good.
I've got to back up off here. Those movies.
What?
Thank you.
They're super.
Thank you.
They're super entertaining.
Yeah, okay.
But they're terrible movies, dude.
What?
None of them have. They're no story structure.
Thor Dark World, the story structure, they connect 22 movies into the final Endgame.
I'm talking like
You don't
in
need
the
that many
movie.
movies.
Yes, you do, to tell the entire story.
Okay, if you want to watch the Avengers series, sit down and watch 22 fucking movies. Nobody has
buddy.
time for that.
But it's only 57
might have
hours.
time
Get
for
over
that.
it.
Only people on the green law or whatever you call it have time for that.
The green line?
The green law, the people that refuse to work.
Oh, the Green New Deal. Well,
There
yeah,
you go.
but
Oh,
just
cool.
watch one movie a day for 22 days.
No,
Get a month.
no, I'll watch 8. Star Wars.
And never know what a woman looks like.
Lawyered.
I still think they're better. But, you know, I don't know. I've always loved comic books. So it's just like the shit. I have the Marvel Encyclopedia and the DC Encyclopedia on my bookshelves.
I got really into Star Wars when I was a kid, so I definitely appreciate Star Wars more. But I definitely, I also really like watching. Like I'm rewatching a lot of the old Marvel movies just because they're so entertaining.
Yeah, they are.
And you can do shit while just watching them. Like
That's right. The only
Yeah,
one I
go
would
on
say
your phone.
wasn't great is Thor Dark World. That was probably the only one I did not like.
the other ones were
A
funny.
lot.
Like they were all.
I liked
funny.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, that was
those were good. I'll give you that.
That was a good one.
Iron Man's were good.
Yeah, did you hear about them firing the director?
No.
Yeah.
James
And
Gunn.
what's with this new Spider-Man movie coming out?
Not Far From Home?
Why do they need to know? I thought Endgame meant Endgame.
No, it's the Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man has his own movies.
But Star Wars are all together. That's why they're better.
This is sounding very.
Rhyme.
This is sounding very homogenous.
Whatever the fuck that means.
It means like all one thing.
Exactly.
Like it needs to be one thing, or else you don't like it. Like they all need to be white, or else you don't like
Yep,
them.
that's exactly what Chris feels like.
Hey!
He feels it's not all white. Chris doesn't like it. That's what he. Tommy
I thought
just
2187 was black.
Racism confirmed.
Was he? Was he?
But yeah, with the Spider-Man movies, I actually don't like the current Tom Holland.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. I think he's the best Spider-Man we've ever had.
I think he's better than the other two. I'll give
Better
for
than
sure. But
what?
I don't think he's. Have you ever seen Spider or not? What is it? It's like a cartoon, Ultimate Spider-Man, some shit like that.
Oh, the Spideyverse movie that just came out?
not the Spideyverse. It's like a TV series. It went for 2 seasons.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yes, love that show.
Have you seen it?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was good.
Yeah, that was great. I
was a
haven't
really good-
disliked a single Spider-Man show that came out.
Ooh, I have,
Even as
but
an
that one I
adult.
did not. That one I loved.
Yeah.
And it's because they did Spider-Man so well, showing like the Peter Parker part of his
Mm-hmm.
life, and then how it interfered with his Spider-Man life. And
Yeah, that was a good
The
show.
first Spider-Man's better than all of them.
No. Tobey Maguire,
Tom McGuire.
probably one of the worst
Okay,
actors.
maybe the Emma Stone one, because that's why I have a big crush on her.
That movie was, the first one was great. The second one was like, where are we going here, people? Jamie Foxx's character was
You know who really
weird.
fucked it up?
Paul Giamatti.
And that will put an
weird.
end to all this, so we can move on. Transformer movies. They fucked up.
Oh, yeah, they had a great thing going.
Yes,
and
they
also,
did.
but they still make tons of money.
But I
don't
know,
get
but like
this,
Mark
the-
Wahlberg now? What?
It's the built-in audience. That's the problem. Is you really don't know the test of a movie with those kind of movies because the built-in audience. It's like Marvel movies. You guys might be right. Sucks. But you got people like me like, oh my god, it's the best. I cried at the end of Endgame. I cried. Tears.
I know what crying
Sad.
means.
Did you see it? You haven't seen it yet?
no spoilers, please.
No spoilers. Yeah, it's been brutal for me. That's what's been killing me. Is like I don't want spoilers for Game of Thrones or Endgame. And the account I follow on
Oh,
Instagram.
man.
Yeah.
What do you think about Game of Thrones? Do you watch Game of Thrones, Tommy?
I don't.
Have you?
No, I have not.
I love Game of Thrones. It's a good show, but it's not a show where it's like, okay, I'm gonna put Game of Thrones on. I'm gonna look at Instagram.
You have to really follow
It's like,
along.
okay, what's going on?
Is that like The
Because-
Walking Dead? Is it kind of like
Yes.
that? I was a big fan of The Walking Dead. And
It-
around start of season 7, I stopped watching it.
Yeah, it's such a. How many episodes are there in a season for that?
Oh man, maybe 14.
Okay, Game of Thrones is 10 each season. There's 8 seasons, so
Okay.
are they an hour long? Yes, and because it's HBO, there's no commercials, so it's an hour long. But
Wow.
it's so in depth. It's so rich that you can't do anything else. My fiance is killing me. I want to throw a book at her every time we watch a movie, every time I watch one of those episodes, because she just sits on her phone and then she asks me 30 questions. I'm like, if you paid attention, you'd know. Arya's here for this reason.
Let's just say this before we get to women are not objects.
They are.
Dom.
Sorry.
Controversial opinion.
That's unpopular opinion. We'll get to that.
Ooh, that's it.
I don't have any for this
I don't
week.
have it. Do you have any unpopular opinions you like talking about?
Unpopular opinion. I do. I definitely.
Oh, hell yes,
I have
hell
a very
yes.
strong unpopular opinion. All right, are you ready? You guys both going to
Yes,
disagree
I'm
with me on
good.
this one?
Probably.
I think public schools should be abolished.
Absolutely, they should.
Damn it! It was not as unpopular as I thought.
Oh, well, no, I like it
oh.
because it's so unpopular.
Oh, okay.
I don't 100% agree, but yes, let's do it. Let's see what fucking happens.
What's your reasoning?
Let's see what happens. Fucking take that take that money off the public and just put it in private schools.
Well,
Or
so
homeschools.
What would the teachers do?
Fuck them. Who cares?
So throw
They're
back to the
whiny.
beginning of the episode where we're talking about like the transgender shit, right?
Okay.
So that's based off of this idea that everyone's opinion creates reality, and reality, in your opinion, shouldn't conform to reality, right?
Their opinion matters more than facts.
Their opinion matters. Well, their opinion is fact.
Exactly.
So,
That's right.
so where do you think they learned that?
Public.
Public schools. But a little bit more in depth. What, like, we all agree 2 + 2 = 4. I think everybody does. Where did you get that? Where did you come to know that as a self-evident truth?
I mean, math is math. You can't fuck with math.
Well, you can't, but what if when you were, I don't know, 3 or whatever, I don't know, when
can't
did you
answer
figure
this
out
question.
2 + 2 = 4?
I like 4 because it equals
Yeah.
the answer.
Well,
Wow.
what if somebody for your whole life told you 2 + 2 = 3 and that math doesn't make sense? Then you'd probably grow up being a clueless idiot.
Yeah.
So
True.
when you have those opinions or when you're in middle school, high school age, that's when you're coming to understand these truths as self-evident.
Right.
These 2 + 2 = 4 things. Mm-hmm. So if you're being taught incorrectly in public school, it's not just going to damage you for the foreseeable
it's gonna
future.
be down the road big time.
Oh yeah,
That's
You-
what
it's going to make a
Participation
society.
trophies do. It's everything.
It's got potential to make a society illiterate.
Oh yeah.
So how do you think the school thing should work?
So I think that on a practical level, obviously today we can't just ban public schools. You know, like you can't just do that today.
I would lose my job.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
no
you're right.
plans
You're
yet.
right.
You're not school.
You're right. You're right.
After.
After. I'm after school and before school on Mondays and Wednesdays.
You'll just become school.
Ooh, you don't want to learn
No.
from me.
This is how you do your macros, and this is how you make sure you look good for cutting seat. What the fuck, Mr. Hall?
So I think that it should go down. It should. Okay, so if we're talking ideally, I don't think that schools in general are the best idea. I think colleges are a good idea. Like if you look at how they did it in like the medieval era, where everyone was smart as shit. You have the colleges where kids will be raised their whole life by their parents. You know, let's face it, it was typically nobility that went to like colleges, and then they would go to college and they'd get higher learning. And every noble child, is that it?
That's fair.
right?
Nobility child, yeah.
Nobility child from nobility. They would all be taught by their parents, and they'd be taught things such as they'd be taught grammar, rhetoric, and logic, and that's all they were taught. And
That's all
then,
you need.
well, you don't really need anything else if you think about
really
it.
Math up to division. That's about it.
Well, in today's day and age, you do need math a lot more because a lot of
Yes.
yeah.
Fine.
You need a lot more in
Yes.
today's day and age. But back then, that was all you needed. You had
Yeah.
basic literacy, grammar, logic, rhetoric, and then from there you go to college and you'd acquire a higher learning. So in today's day and age, I think that practically what the next step should be is just a pure voucher system. Every parent gets a voucher saying, "Hey, you get to put your kid in school with this voucher, any school you choose, and then any parent can just put their child in whatever school they
Right.
want."
Now, is that going to be based off of a test they take to get into
I don't-
Is there going to be better schools and suckier schools?
Well, no, because that's the problem. Is like what a lot of public schools do now is I saw an analogy. It was like if you test every fish on its ability to climb a tree, the fish is gonna feel like shit
Yeah.
because it can't do it.
Well, that's the one thing I don't like about public schools is they all have one way to learn.
Right, that's exactly
Yeah.
it. Because all they do is do this cookie cutter thing where they have like Common Core, where it's a cookie cutter thing. And this is how it's gonna be, and you leave kids behind, even though we're supposed to leave no kids behind. But you're judging a kid, you're judging a fish and how it can climb a tree.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't do that.
Oh, yeah.
So you gotta figure out how to get the kid to learn the things they want to do. I think that we put too much emphasis on this general broadness of school, where we should I like the idea of figuring out what a kid's good at and what they're genuinely interested in and teach them that.
So that's actually why I have my sort of ideal version where at the end of the day, until you're about college age, you should be I think homeschool because
Yeah.
if a kid, there's some people who are geniuses. I think actually I was talking to you about this the other day off. Some people are geniuses on the basketball field.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
It's a basketball
physically.
court, but all right.
That tells you how much you know about sports.
It's a court.
Basketball court. I'm about to say baseball field. It got
Yeah.
mixed up in my head.
Exactly.
But
Sports.
sports. Some kids are incredible at physical activities.
Right.
And these kids, why are they being lumped in with the super
Right.
smart kids?
Yeah, and again with the ADHD overprescription, all that shit, where you have teachers basically writing script for parents to
Yeah.
get their kids on Ritalin. When you're a teacher, you know nothing about medical whatever or chemical imbalance. You just have teachers diagnosing kids, which is illegal. But you have this kid who's overactive, hyperactive, and you can't get him to sit still. Blah 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 blah. Back in the old days, that kid wasn't meant to be in school, like what you're talking about, medieval. Maybe that kid's not supposed to learn. Maybe that kid's supposed to be out in the field doing something with his hands where he can get out that energy and actually do something productive. Whereas he's sitting in a classroom losing his fucking shit. You can't get him to sit still. Drugs.
So do you think their schooling should be based off of the genetics?
Yes. but
Because
you gotta, like, do a
Tommy's
test.
thing on, let's say, the baseball field, obviously it's going to be based off of your genetics on how coordinated you are.
Right.
Does that kind of play into, let's say, how coordinated your mind is? I know it sounds very weird,
I'm not
but you see where I'm coming from?
educated enough to make that assumption.
Okay.
So I don't think anybody is, right?
Yeah.
I think that's why it should be homeschooling because your mom's gonna know if you're better
Right.
athletically than you are intelligence-wise. Another thing is for like a stupid kid, their mom might be stupid too, and then she'll know how to handle that. She'll know, oh, it's not that he's retarded or it's not that he needs ADD medication. It's that he's just stupid like me. So I'm just gonna
Right.
teach him how I learned.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then in most cases, though, kids like they're probably not going to be the CEO of a Fortune 500, Fortune 400 company anyway.
Right.
So they're probably going to be working in like I don't know the.
How do you feel about the saying "you can be anything you want to be"?
I do not like that saying.
Don't like it either. Because you have a cap.
You do.
Every brain
That's like
has
me
an
thinking I
intellectual
could
cap.
win Mr. Olympia. I can
You
dream.
might be able to if you do
I can
steroids.
dream all the fuck I want to be.
Right.
But dude, to put it in perspective, right? The first show I competed in this past weekend, I prepped for 18 weeks.
Yes.
Right? I prepped for 18 weeks and I got 4th overall, right? This dude that competed in bodybuilding, a different category than me, looked actually ridiculous, dude. Like everybody was
silly.
looking at him was like, "What in the world?" I asked him how old he was. 21 years old.
Yeah.
Guess how long you prepped for?
14 days.
3 weeks.
That's not right.
So
Piss him. Do you have to pass a drug test for that category?
yeah, you do. You do. You have to piss. You have to do
That-
all these drugs.
His piss
I mean, all these
is
tests.
like a casino jackpot.
So, but no, that's the
Sky
thing,
high.
dude. He had those Nigerian genetics.
Francis Ngannou.
Yeah,
He's only been doing MMA for 6 years.
Yeah.
Not even, I don't even think. And the guy's
exactly,
just like,
dude.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So
It's beautiful.
that's where like I can relate the most when you say you can be anything you want to be. It sucks, right? Because you can have the same dream as that kid that prepped for 3 weeks
Right.
and looked so much better than you, right? That's where it gets kind of like it sucks, but it's
I
so
can increase
true.
my vertical. I can
Yeah.
increase it. I can do workouts to increase
Yeah,
my vertical.
100%.
Am I ever going to dunk? Probably not.
Yeah,
Probably not. Probably not. It's
yeah,
not gonna
that's
happen.
it's a weird. It's
Am I ever going to be able to do a flying wheel kick? No,
Yeah.
probably not.
It's just that it's a genetic roll of the dice,
Exactly,
dude.
yeah.
It's literally
It is.
it's so messed up because that determines so much of your life that you have no
right.
control.
You
over.
can be the best version of yourself. You cannot be anything you
wanna
want to be.
No.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good point. The best version of yourself thing, because I mean, as a Catholic, we're Catholics.
Yes.
I'll go fuck myself.
You can go sit outside if you want.
Well, as a Catholic, we all have our calling in life.
Yes.
What God designed us to do. So if that's the case, then you can be the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
There's one thing that God designed you for, which you're gonna be able to do probably better than the average person.
Yep.
And in cases like that,
Podcasting.
Podcasting.
No.
I didn't want to say anything.
Sorry, our subscribers say enough.
We're trying, man. We're doing it, guys.
But with the
Yeah, no, there is.
it's like you can be the best. God designed you for a vocation, and whatever that vocation is, you're probably gonna be pretty good at
I
it.
can guarantee you it wasn't to shave your head, color it purple, and say you're a dude if you're a woman. I can guarantee it wasn't that.
Oof, let's dive in deep waters there, Dom.
Yeah, we can dive back.
What was
out.
that? I hear our subscription going down.
Ow, 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 ow. Each one we lose. Trust me, if they subscribe and they've listened to one episode,
Yeah,
they're
you're right,
definitely
you're
not
right.
transgender. But God bless you if you are. You'll figure it out, maybe.
Oh my gosh, dude, you're so awful.
Said they'll figure it out, baby. It's pretty good. I'm just saying, your numbers of suicide don't go down or up if you do the change. Just saying. That messed me up when I heard that. Is that people that are transgender or think they're transgender, their rate of suicide does not decrease even if they get the change. It doesn't decrease. It stays the same, and in some cases increase.
Really?
Yeah. Even with the whole "I'm doing what I want to do" thing. Got a mind over
So you
matter.
think? I know you. The Catholic religion has a set of rules, right? A set of
It does, sometimes.
moral rules. Is that what they're called?
Both.
Okay.
Moral and
So
ethical.
you think that is a very, very important thing to have?
Yo, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to be Catholic to have moral rules.
No.
But it just gives you a good guideline, a pretty strict guideline that people might seem as unattainable, but it is because you never know what the other side is doing.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
the idea behind the Catholic moral structure is reason is real, I guess. It's the idea that if something's contrary to reason, it's a problem. Like the transgender thing, that's contrary to reason. You were born a boy. Obviously, you're a boy. Now you're saying you're a girl. That's that's directly contrary to what we can see with our eyes. It's contrary to reason. It doesn't make logical sense.
So you don't think there's any possible way? And I agree with you. I'm just asking you this question so you can answer it. You don't think there's any possible way that a girl can be born in a girl's body, but I said that wrong. So do you think there is no possible way that a boy can be born in a girl's body?
Well, you are your body.
Yeah.
It's not that your mind's separate from your body.
Did I ask that right? You
Yeah,
know,
the real
you asked it
problem
right.
is that you just have those diseases like Kleinfeld's and the intersectional diseases that give you both, or like hermaphrodites where you
Yeah.
get both genitalia, or that's an abnormality.
Yeah, that's
that
a
causes
fringe case.
a lot of problems when you get down to it. Where's the dude that it was a botched circumcision and the doctor's like, oh, we'll just take his penis off. That's what the doctor said. It was a botched circumcision. So they're like, we'll just take the penis off, raise him as a girl. That's what they told the parents. We'll just take his penis off and raise him as a girl. The guy has no dick, raises a girl, and is like 28 and goes, I'm a dude. And then became a dude, and then he killed himself. 'Cause he just couldn't take the mental torture.
That sucks.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
See, that's where I'm like, I'm so touchy about the subject because that shit exists.
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why it's so hard for me to, like,
But see, you see what I'm
put
saying?
this
is
into,
that
like, facts.
They
you
gave
know?
him a female body, essentially, and put him in dresses and did his hair away as a girl, and his true nature still emerged from that. Like, what he was when he was born emerged through that cloudiness. So, it's weird.
Yeah, everyone. The idea like you're a boy trapped in a girl's body, or vice versa. It's basically the idea that your body's separate from your mind, which it's not. Even as a matter of fact, it's way more anti-atheist. That belief is way more anti-atheist than it is anti-Catholic, because atheists don't believe in the soul, and you need to believe in the soul in order to believe that your body's separate from your
Separate, yeah.
mind.
So do you think there's ways to treat that?
I don't know. I'd see it as a huge case of body dysmorphia, and you need to do a lot of therapy. Because, like I said, your rates of suicide don't change whether or not you get the change.
So that's the fact that's fucked. You know?
Right. So what are
Either
we doing?
way,
If we're treating the physical, okay, you say you're a girl. Okay, let's treat the physical. Are we treating the mental? Where are we at?
because do you think they can help it? Do you think it's a thing where I don't think it's like do you think it's a
don't
choice for them?
I don't know.
That's
I think
so, that's
it's.
where I'm like scratching my
I think the
fucking chin
nature
on.
is so tiny, and then nurture is too big. You know what I'm saying? If you're following me, is that the nature part of it is like, oh, maybe I'm a girl. I never identify with boys. I don't like doing boy shit. I don't like this and that. Maybe I'm a girl, and it's like nowadays it's like we don't want to lose our kid. I'm not saying that's all parents, but I'm saying you just get stuck with this nurture aspect that takes over the idea of what nature actually is, and you just run with it. I don't know. I'm not a therapist, but I'm saying if your rates of suicide aren't changing, and even after you get the change, why are you doing?
Do you think it's just a risk you have to take?
No, I think you just gotta go to a lot of therapy. A lot of therapy.
I think part of it's probably the affirmation by society too.
Yep.
Not even just the parents.
Yeah.
Like a teacher saying, "Hey, we should celebrate everybody who's transgender." It's like,
Good Lord.
so you want? I mean, okay, we all know they don't actually want suicide rates, but that's
No.
kind of what it seems like.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, shout out to public schools teachers. My cousin is actually a public school teacher.
Do you think that you think they should get paid more?
Shout out. I do not know.
Thank you. Neither do I.
That's most of the time people debate you to the death on that one.
No,
It's
I don't
nice
think
to
they
have
should.
a kindred spirit.
No, unpopular
Why do-
opinion.
why-
Teachers
why-
shouldn't be paid more.
Why do you think they're
Because they get
shouldn't?
3 months of vacation. Already, they get 3 months of vacation. They get a lot of days off during the school year. How many days off do you get during the school year? When
It's
you're
at least like a couple
Right.
of months.
you have in Illinois you have great benefits, and if you get paid $60K for 8 months of work,
Well, because it seems like the whole argument
Congratulations.
is they're raising the new generation, and that's a lot to put on their shoulders.
they shouldn't be. They should be teaching the next generation, and the parents should be raising them.
Good answer. Okay.
They should be teaching them actual facts, not their wishy-washy bullshit that public school teachers do, especially in high school, where, a kid shows up and says he won't go protest Donald Trump, and they're like, you will or you're going to get expelled. Excuse me?
Mm-hmm.
Or you're gonna go form outside to represent DACA kids that should stay, or illegals that should stay here, and he's like, no, I won't. You're gonna get expelled. That's the type of shit that happens in public high schools. That shouldn't be happening. You're supposed to be an institution for learning. That's it. Same with high. Some colleges, to an extent, I think college is a good place to challenge you, challenge your beliefs, challenge your ideas, and form new ones. But you're there to teach facts. And you can teach logic, you can teach reasoning, you can teach that kind of thing to figure a ways out to do it, but stick to the textbooks.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, my thing is, if you're not actually doing a good job,
Yeah.
why are you getting a raise?
Right.
I feel like
And also tenure for teachers. It's like we're gonna I had a teacher that had tenure and he sucked. He was the worst
there's
freaking
no
teacher I had in
motivation
my
to be
life.
better.
There's no motivation. And then it's impossible to fire them. It's impossible.
yeah. Plus, you get the
ridiculous.
teachers at private schools who are way better, doing a way better
Yeah,
job,
because there's incentives and there's reason to be better.
and they get paid less,
Yeah.
like significantly less. It's their ACT scores in private schools are. It's like a well-known fact. I mean, I don't have to study off the top of my head, but we can go with it's a well-known fact that the results from private schools are better, and they're being paid less. And then we
Yeah.
want to give a raise to the public school
Right.
teachers.
I don't think they should be paid more for. Stephen Crowder has a great rant about it that just made me laugh because it's true. Everything you said in is true. You get 3 months off, countless days throughout the school year off, and you teach kids. Yes, kids are dicks, but you're doing this job to teach. You get paid $60K plus a year.
Yeah.
But
That's one of the problems I see with the school model. Just how much do you pay someone? Like looking at a broad level, let's assume they were doing a good job. How much do you pay someone
yeah.
for teaching your kids? Like that's not their job inherently. Inherently, it's the parents' job.
Right, and that's what I mean. Your parents should be raising you, not
But that's the
teaching
thing.
and raising you.
That's the thing, man. Like we've both worked with kids.
Yes.
While you're with those kids, even I'm only with them for 6 hours max. Wow.
Wow, that
A day.
Lip.
You're, in a way, kind of raising them.
I'm sure. Absolutely.
So don't you think the teachers, in a way, since they're spending how many hours a day?
Right. But I'm saying there needs to be a clear-cut definition. There needs to be a clear-cut line.
Yeah.
And I think the line gets blurred.
Mm-hmm.
It's like your teacher's not your parent.
Another thing is if you give the teachers too much money, and this does sound cynical, but if you give the teachers too much money, people will start signing up just for the money, and they won't actually give a shit about teaching kids.
Right. Because it's a calling.
It's a calling.
I just don't think you want to be a teacher. Who wants to fucking be around kids every day of their life? And
Yeah.
then next year, another set of douchebags come in. And then next year, another set of douchebags come in.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
another-
kids.
That's another thing about teachers. I feel like teachers. I mean, maybe this is just me, but I feel like teachers aren't the biggest fans of kids, and I guess I can't blame them.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the case.
To
It's
be
like,
fair, we had our moms who had to love us. So
well, no, that's actually another reason why I have my unpopular opinion, which is moms don't have to love you; they just do love you.
exactly.
You're their offspring. Like it'd be
That's
kind
right.
of fucked up if they didn't, and
And it
typically
happens.
moms.
And when they don't, they really don't. And they kill you. That's.
It's called abortion.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
good one.
gosh.
Good one. Yep.
But yeah.
Any
Yeah,
more unpopular opinion?
Um.
Because that was a good one.
This abortion game is fucked.
What?
This abortion thing
There's a game?
seems like it to people.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it is. It is a game. Yeah.
Well, this isn't an unpopular opinion, but as far as abortion goes, my coworker was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast actually,
There you go.
and he was talking about how back in the day people would worship the gods in order to get better crops, right? And they would worship the gods and they would have human sacrifice. So they would kill, like the Aztecs, kill hundreds of thousands, if not millions,
God.
of people.
I mean, you win a game there, and they'd kill the winning team.
Yeah,
So
stuff
it
like
was
that.
honor to the gods to give you the best athlete to the gods.
But you know the whole thing with like Cortez. You ever heard of Cortez and the Conquistadors?
Mm-hmm.
He was actually doing a really good thing. Oh, hey, this is an unpopular opinion. Cortez and the Conquistadors were phenomenal. But
Show your work.
what he was doing is the Aztecs were when he walked up. There's a book written on by Warren Carroll. He walked up and they offered him a feast because they thought they were gods. Because there were paintings of people dressed in black, like black armor, like big men dressed in black. And these guys come over and the conquistadors are dressed in black armor, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, they come up and then they're offered a feast. They're like, oh, cool, these natives seem chill. And then during the feast, they were serving human body parts.
Oh god.
So then Cortez is like, fuck this.
Yeah.
We don't stand by this. And so then they told them.
dare he?
So then eventually it got to the point. So they were going back to their ships, and then Cortez burned the ships so they couldn't leave. And he was like, we're not leaving until we fix this. Because they looked at the natives as other humans. They didn't look at them in a racist way like the English did later when they, the whole slavery thing.
Oh, ew, that word.
Yeah. So they were not like the English, where the English took slaves. They actually later. So anyway, they went in and killed a lot of them. There was a big war, but it was a war. It wasn't they destroyed helpless natives. It was a war. The natives were fighting. I mean, they were killing
All
at that
warriors.
point.
I mean, the Aztecs were all warriors.
At that point, they were killing so many people in a day, the streets would run red.
Yep.
An incredible amount of people. Back to the main point, though. Nowadays, people are like, how are we going to survive with this many people on the earth?
Thanos.
It's like
And
a purge, dude.
So no. There's a purge going on. It's called abortion. They're doing the same damn thing. They're sacrificing to the environment.
For shit's sakes, it was invented by a woman who wanted to eradicate the black problem. Those were her words. The founder of Planned Parenthood, that was their mission, was to eradicate the black problem. And when you look at the black abortion rate being at 70% for all pregnancies, they're doing their job that they set out to do. I mean, it's ridiculous. 70% out of 100, 70 babies die.
What I think is even crazier than that is if you talk to someone about abortion and you get them to a certain point in the conversation, a lot of people will say this terrible phrase of, I just think there's too many people on this earth. Like, what the fuck? That's human sacrifice.
Yeah.
We're supposed
That's a
to
purge.
come
Yes,
further than
it's a
this.
purge. Yeah. Thanos.
That's a fucking purge, dude.
Thanos. Half the civilization needs to go.
It's Thanos with extra steps.
What do you think another argument that always comes up with pro-life is, what about the rape cases?
Two wrongs don't make a right. End of conversation.
Yeah, it comes down to if you actually think it's a person, then what you're doing, you're just saying, hey, let's murder one completely innocent party because someone got raped.
Yeah, the kid didn't have a choice in that matter. He's
All right.
there, though.
That's such a fringe case, though. There's so few cases in
That's
abortion.
the thing. It's like,
rapes.
was it only like, is it 1%?
I think it's less. I don't know though.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to even try to assume.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. I don't get it. I don't get how we can say that if we found that amount of life on Mars, we would say there's life on Mars, but it happens every single day in a woman's stomach, and it's like, we can get rid of it. We'd spend billions of dollars to cultivate life on Mars. If that amount, after conception, that amount of life, if we found that on Mars, we'd spend billions of dollars to cultivate it, and it happens every day, and we're like, psh, psh, whatever. It's a clump of cells. Psh, get rid of it.
That's my always thing is, it's like, what is it going to become?
Well, at this point, it's 9 months. Who gives a shit? If you're in New York, who cares? 9 months. Get rid of it.
That's just so weird.
I think. I mean, if you want to like meet in the middle, I don't want abortion to be legal at any stage, but let's meet in some common, at least sensical area of like 21 weeks, where it can't live outside of it. You know what I'm saying? Like they won't even go there. It's like 9 months. whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy. Everyone
20
tries
weeks,
to.
whatever.
When you're in politics, I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm not a politician, but a lot of politicians they'll cut these half deals where it's like,
Yeah.
how about we just make it, unlawful, illegal. That's what I was looking for. After 21 weeks, and then next thing you know, they're all of a sudden trying to pass legislation for like, what's it called, where they actually leave the baby's head in the womb and then inject it with poison. It's so vile, but that's what they were doing. That's what now there's talks, like, I mean, it kind of got rejected, but there are talks now of killing babies after they're born if they're not considered viable or some shit like that. Like, a baby's born, it's alive.
If the mother says
If the mother says it's not viable.
Yeah, they'll put him, it's in Virginia, they'll put the baby in a separate room, make sure it's comfortable after it's born, and then the doctor and mother will have a discussion about whether or not the baby technically lived.
Yeah, that was that was how they worded it.
And then they'll keep it alive. I think it's for organ harvesting, to be completely honest. As they'll keep the baby alive a little longer, grow the organs, and then sell the whole baby to the black market, and that's like $100,000 right there.
It's so fucked up. My coworker actually just recently became pro-life because of the
Unplanned movie?
No, because of the
That bill?
the organ selling.
Well, I mean, Joe Rogan even said, that.
And guess who convinced him? It was on Joe Rogan, but guess who convinced my coworker?
Alex Jones.
First shot.
I just knew it had to be Alex Jones.
You're so good.
Alex Jones is very passionate about the born baby killing, fetus selling shit. He's very passionate about that.
Yeah, my coworker after that was like, dude, he goes, like, I know this guy's a little nuts, he says, but he's like,
but what he's
saying
like,
is, I mean, and then I was like, dude, no, it's like documented.
Yeah.
There's videos of it. And I showed him
I'm going to get a Ferrari.
And my coworker goes,
you're selling baby parts.
And my coworker proceeds to say, yeah, I mean, it's fucked up.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's so wrong. So I have a sports thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, dude, please change the subject before I fucking cry.
So, Hoff, you play sports. You're a baseball guy.
I do play the baseball.
You play baseball?
I play
12.
I play Sunday League.
12. He looks 36. What do you think about plunking batters after they've hit a home run and celebrate a little too much?
It's the game, man.
You're okay with it?
It's the game, dude.
You're okay with it?
I've seen a lot of games where it's kind of the opposite way. Mm-hmm. Like the player gets hit and then hits a home run and then celebrates it a little too much in that kind of version.
Yeah.
But dude, man, I mean, it's the game. It's just how it is. It's like hockey fights, dude. I mean, it's.
I'm so against it.
Really?
It hurts.
Why?
'Cause look, you're doing one of the hardest things in sports to do.
Mm-hmm.
Hit a home run off a fastball, off a guy throwing at 95 miles an hour. I'm going to flip my bat.
Yeah.
I'm going to go hit it and go, whoo,
well, it
and
depends to the
side.
type of celebration that was.
Right, okay, so like
Anderson on the Sox. I think his last name's Anderson, right? So he hit I think it was. He's a African American. He shits on a guy. Like just hits a fucking bomb. Right? And he turns around to his dugout, right? And he takes the knob, right? And puts it on his palm and then chucks it towards his dugout.
His own dugout?
Yes.
Like his own team?
So it's not, instead of just hitting it and then flipping the bat, he puts the bat on his palm and then tosses it. So he completely turns after he hits it, puts the knob on his palm and then throws it at his team.
See nothing wrong here?
Which is just like a crazy, like... then it comes down to the respect of the actual game, respect of the pitcher, respect of the actual team, the organization, right? So when it comes down to that, dude, it's like you're really disrespecting a lot of that team. I don't know. See, you gotta get some high.
I never played, so I don't know. But like, I'm just saying, a celebration's a celebration. You let up a home run.
But dude, how many fucking home runs happen?
Well, if you're the Cubs, quite a bit right now. But anyway, I just think a celebration's a celebration, and there's no. I get where it would be like annoying. Where if the first baseman goes, "Hey, motherfucker, why are you doing that?" Okay, cool, that's one thing. Mm-hmm. Or second, third, whatever. Catcher getting in a scuffle, like don't fucking celebrate. But to like the pitcher who's wielding a hard ball, chucking it at 95 miles an hour and aiming it at your body, that's a different ballgame. That guy needs to be thrown out.
Dude, home runs happen way more than actual, let's say, like, let's take it to another sport, like goal in hockey. You know how they celebrate, or goal in soccer, or actual touchdown in football.
Yeah.
A home run does not need to be celebrated that much.
No, I don't think you need to go over the top. But if I flip a bat, or if I do that thing you're talking about where I threw the bat to his dugout, that's one thing. But it's not. If you're like freaking out and you're like didn't hit a walk off, and everyone's freaking out, and it's just like the first inning. Yeah, you don't need to over celebrate. But I just don't like the idea of retaliation, is my main point. This idea that, okay, you hit a home run on me and you celebrated, next time at bat, I'm whipping this ball at your dome.
It depends on the celebration. That's what I will say. Yes.
Really?
Because, dude, some of these players are, like, making it as if they scored, or they hit the walk-off, or they fucking...
Yeah, no.
Like, did a touchdown dance or whatever. Like, they're bringing it to that level of celebration. And the fact that guys hit... up to 50 home runs
a year
in a season, and they celebrate it like it's
their last or their first.
Exactly. So that's where I'll say
Yeah.
I can understand giving him some high chin heat. You don't have to hit the fucker.
High chin heat.
You know?
Buddy, that's his livelihood.
Dude, it's just a game, man.
You're going to give him a concussion because he hit a home run on you?
Dude,
went,
I was in 13U travel, and I'm the catcher. This fucker did the same exact thing. Next time he was up to bat, middle finger's a sign. If you put your middle finger down, right? So I'll have the glove right here on my left, right? And that's where I give the signs, you know? Yeah. Middle finger down. Hit the fucker. Yeah, dude. Wow. It's intense, man. And that happens in travel 13? Baseball. Dude, it's it's the competitiveness of the game. It's just egos have a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
You know? And it's...
I just don't like it, man.
It's hard to be able to understand it if you haven't been in an actual game situation.
I understand I'm a piece of shit. I get it. I understand. Thank you.
So
you just said yeah.
No, it's just it depends on the level of celebration, the level of doucheness. You know?
Hey man, I'm saying I'd freak out. So if I hit a
Well, that's the thing, dude, because you have never hit a home run in your life.
Okay, thank you.
No, I'm just saying it's facts, Dom. Don't let your emotions take over here.
Do I get to fight right now? This is my chin heat right now, motherfucker. Here it is.
No, dude, but when these guys are hitting home runs, hit up to 40, 30 a year.
Right.
There's no reason. Walk-offs, I understand. Big-ass fucking Jose Bautista, that home run that he did in the playoffs a couple years back.
Or he just chucked the bat.
Insane, dude. That's okay. Yeah. Because that was a walk-off in the ALDS or the NLCS, whatever it was. That's okay. That was insane,
too many
dude.
rules. Let him celebrate.
But mid-April game,
what about,
chucking your bat? Come on, dude.
What about Rizzo doing the Rocky bob and weave when he got an RBI and you got the second base and he got a run in?
Well, there's signs. Then it comes to Then it comes to different things you do when you either get a single or either get a double, right? So the thing I do when I hit a double is I'll put my elbow on my hand and do something like this. And that came from a long video called Shit Baseball Players Do. And it's like, oh, fuck, I hate hitting doubles. You know, and some guys, they do like the bear claw. You know, it's just like little things that teams do.
Weird.
It is kind of weird. Rocky Balboa, what do you mean? He just like punched the air or some shit?
Box,
That's fine.
Exactly.
That's fine. There's no reason for him to be
Rizzo.
hit by that.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a level of respect. That's just something probably the team does. See where I'm coming from?
No, don't hit anybody. It's silly. You're not.
Dude, they get hit so much.
It's America's pastime. You don't hit anybody in the face with a ball.
Well, okay, so I'm not saying bring it to their face.
Here's what you do. You're a pitcher, you get a home run hit, a guy over celebrates. You go to boxing promotions, say, I want to fight that guy, pay for the fight.
No,
and then you get pay-per-view, you get money.
Stop,
yeah,
dude,
you do the
stop.
whole thing.
There's
UFC
no
fight,
reason to bring it to that level.
You think Greg Hardy's going to make himself anything? Sorry if you don't follow MMA.
Greg Hardy?
He's a piece of shit.
He's
terrible.
Well, dude, he
needs to fight somebody.
He is. You just see his past fight?
He needs to fight somebody.
He fucked him up. In a
Did
good
you hear
way.
what Dana White said?
No.
He's like, he said, Greg Hardy came out, did his thing. The other guy, I don't know who the 6 guys is he beat up, but what the fuck was that?
Yeah, he was a scared motherfucker. He was huge.
9 other guys. He's like, who are the 9 other guys he fought? I'd like to see them because that was a pathetic excuse for a fight.
He needs
to fight somebody.
Yeah.
Give him Derek Lewis, see what happens.
Oh, man. That'd be a good fight.
I mean, hey, you're putting the guys as the co-main.
Yeah.
Give him Derek Lewis. Give him number 6.
No, I agree with that. I believe in second chances.
Oh, I do too, but I just think the guy's not
You just don't think he has fought anybody.
I don't think he's fought it.
I think the way he went into that fight and the after speech he did after the win, I think was very respectable.
Right, but that's like the John Jones thing, where John Jones, I thank God, I'd like to thank Jesus, my Lord and Savior, and then when he leaves the ring, line of coke. Like, I hate that. Where it's like, I just want to thank my team, it's great, and then you go hit your wife. Like, well, God,
Well, that's the thing.
on.
And then that's putting more into the behind the scenes than the actual fight itself.
But I mean, if you're an athlete in the center stage, you're the athlete in the center stage. Like Conor McGregor is an athlete in every aspect. The guy goes.
I know, but
anywhere.
you still love Conor McGregor, even though all the shit he did behind the scenes.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I like him. I like the personality that he brings. I don't like the off-stage antics that involve violence towards women or.
Especially Rose Namajunas. She was on the bus too. That's my girl.
No, that I didn't mind.
She's fighting this Saturday night.
I know she is. I can't watch it.
I'm going to be using your ESPN Plus.
Is it on ESPN or is it pay-per-view?
ESPN Plus.
Oh, fuck yeah. Where am I going to be sad? I might be in the bathroom at whatever restaurant I'm at. Watch it. Oh, yeah, I just don't feel good. I once said I was laying in my fiance's house hammock watching the Donald Cerrone fight. It's so nice just watching it posted up in the trees.
His fight against Al Quinta, Donald Cerrone's on a new fucking level, dude.
He's going to ride this last train.
You know what he said at the end of the fight? He goes, either Conor McGregor in July or the title. That dude is confident, and he has a reason to be confident, man. He's 3-0 ever since his son was born, and that's a whole new motivation to be fighting for, dude.
Tommy, would you ever step into a ring? Just for shits and grins?
Maybe. Depends on who I'm fighting.
Yeah. What's your cap of money you would take for it?
Oh, dude, if it's 10,000,
10,000, you're really
5,000. 5,000.
5,000, you're gonna take some CTE? Boy, come on, you're small.
Dude,
don't do that.
Because here's the thing, though. 5,000, you get knocked out. Yeah, sure. Might need and this assumes hospital bills are paid for.
No.
Oh, okay. In that case,
No, this is a backyard brawl. I'm gonna throw the money down. You fight Chris. 10,000, 5,000.
All right, if we're talking that, fighting Chris.
He can't use his legs.
What? Come on, man.
What?
He can't use his legs.
$10,000 on that. I'll put the
Dude, my go-to move was gonna be the groin kick, man.
You can't. All right, you can't do what Chris likes to do and throw high chin heat. You can't go for
All
that.
right, so
no
I'd
middle
go-
fingers. Come on.
I would go. Okay, assuming that I will be very hurt. I would say.
I can beat you up, Tommy.
Was that assuming?
I said assuming I
Right
will
now
be
would be
very
an even
hurt.
fight.
Chris would be like, one punch is good. Second one. Where'd it go?
I would think 50,000.
50,000, you step in a ring with Chris.
Oh, dude. Thank you, man.
Hey, you're welcome. But that's because of hospital bills.
Okay, that's fair.
If hospital bills weren't in the equation,
Okay,
I'd do it
you
for
might have a
5.
concussion.
Well, okay, it
What's the
depends. I don't know. Chris could be an animal, dude. I don't know.
With his legs? Fighting the boy with his legs. If he's kickboxing, you're fucked.
I mean, I don't know.
Night.
Are we wearing gloves?
Yes.
Yes.
We're not,
Gloves?
we're not
Oh,
back
okay.
fighting.
Then in that case, yeah, I'd probably do it for 5,000.
Ooh, worse concussion.
Yeah.
Now Chris has protection on his
So,
hands.
and I mean, then it's the difference between whether it's a UFC fight or boxing fight.
I thought we were talking just like backyard brawl, like bare knuckle.
anything goes.
Anything goes.
Anything
then
goes.
50,000.
That'd be 50,000. I'm
That'd be
talking
50,000.
sanctioned boxing fight.
And in that case, it'd be 5,000.
5,000. Okay, that's fair.
5,000.
I'll take that.
I don't know. Step in a ring right now. I take about 10.
Yeah, but you're significantly larger. Wait, what? I
take
thought you were gonna go a lot lower than me.
I
Then
take
you went
10K to get
double.
in there. My brain. I don't know.
Not against me, dude. It'd
Yeah,
be an even
well,
fight.
wasn't that Joe Rogan's shtick? He
Dude, I
didn't-
got
he
nothing
left.
up here. I got nothing up here. I don't know how to punch. You kidding me?
I sprayed my wrist so many times I'd hitch and all I hear was crack.
I just throw
Fight's over.
haymakers and try and put you in the scissors.
You know, let's
Just jump at it.
Get on the ground immediately.
fun fact.
Slip the guard and fuck your day up.
Fun fact about me: I'm actually a black belt, but you would never know it.
Oh my god.
If I fought you, you'd
No,
never know
see, I don't know if you want to do
I
backyard
think that's
brawl,
the difference
Chris.
between karate and then Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belts.
Oh, dude,
What is your black belt in?
Kung Fu.
Kung Fu. Oh, no.
No, I'm Kung Fu mixed martial arts, but it's a joke.
You definitely don't want to do backyard brawl. You want sanctioned.
Oh,
fight, Chris.
dude, I would get my ass handed to me either
Well,
way.
you just
I mean,
try and tackle the dude.
here's the thing: if I was bigger, I'd probably be able to
Bro,
kick your ass.
here's-
But I'm not big.
Here's
Yeah.
what you need to do at your size. Outlast them. That's it.
Oh,
Hi,
that's
duck and run. Duck and run.
If
Duck and run.
Tommy- if
I am
Tommy-
very fast.
If Tommy was the same weight as me, right, and the strength was around the same, and then he brought his kung fu into the game, I'd get my ass kicked, 100%.
man, that would
And
be
then
no-
it's just a weight difference. That's
it's
the
really it's conversations like this that really make me sad that I don't have the same drive in the gym as other people do.
Same.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy when in Kung Fu how they teach you how, like, the techniques they'll teach you. Kung Fu is different than mixed martial arts. Kung Fu, they go in with the assumption that it's mostly about technique, and then maybe you'll fight someone later. So the idea is they'll do techniques like you'll claw the eyes, and then you'll go down here
And say
rip
hello.
out their groin.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Sanction fight. You don't want to fight.
Yeah,
that.
for real.
Chris
dude.
already got hit in the dick. I was there to watch it.
and then they'll say shit like, you know what? If you're in a street fight, just scream as much as you can and kick them in the balls, and then run.
I know what you're talking about. I was like, you seem to get hit in the dick before.
Several times.
Yep, you're right.
Me. You've seen that. Chris and I can't have kids. Fun fact. Yep. Yeah, we're done. My fiance said she wants him to get snipped.
Well,
Just throwing it out there. She wants me to get snipped when we get married.
is that a real thing?
Yeah, man.
Whoa.
That is actually against Catholic.
I know it is. And I'm like, honey.
So after you
No,
get the
dude,
kid-
just say it's about religion.
so after you
pull
get the
that
kids,
card.
After we have a couple kids.
so then you could just bang it every.
Okay. Well.
No, I'm just the facts.
Yes.
Okay.
But like,
That's a little inappropriate for this podcast. Fuck off.
No, are you kidding me, dude?
any other show. Yeah, no, she wants me to, and I'm like, I don't. It's my stuff. I don't.
Dude, that'd be
Definitely do not do that.
I don't want to do.
So what? You wouldn't have balls?
No, they take out the part of your balls that makes you able to reproduce.
Oh, okay.
No,
So
it's
this was
real.
a balls.
My uncle did that, and I don't. He dyes his hair
Read a
black
fucking
when he turned
book,
50.
Chris.
Dude, catch this.
Sorry, Tommy. Go ahead, bro. Chris thought a vasectomy meant you take balls. I don't
That's
know.
what they do to the dogs.
That's a dog, not a human being. Sometimes they can do a normal neuter job to a dog.
I'm just saying, if you don't have balls down there, just bare dick, that'd be the weirdest thing.
That'd be a weird
You get
day.
your dick caught in between your legs all the
that
damn
would be a
time.
weird life to
You
live.
have nothing to rest on. Just a sec.
I love this show so much. You learn so much about your friends. It's great.
I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor.
Not a doctor.
Pretty sure even accountants know that one.
I work with kids.
That in this context,
That was the worst thing to say. In this context. I don't know what happens balls. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Yeah, what happens? Sorry, Tommy.
Damn it.
no, but yeah, my uncle did that. He got that operation, and he's now the guy, the guy that we all know, who dyes his hair black at age 55. My dad looks older than his brother, even though his brother's in fact older, because my dad did not lose his balls.
So all just for men guy.
So wait a minute.
I'm waiting.
Are you saying does
I'm
it
down, wait
affect
a
your
minute.
testosterone if you get your
Dude,
snip?
it's
We're
got
getting on
to.
TRT,
It's
it's
got
cool.
to.
Perfect. Okay,
Bro,
I'm done.
Damo and I are getting hopping
Oh,
on TRT when we,
yeah.
as soon as we see
TRT.
any drop, point, TRT.
Yes, dude, I'm ready. I am ready. I want my piss to be so hot. I mean, like, just microwave hot.
We're gonna run into each other one of these days after a couple years later. Fucking A,
You're
dude.
gonna not talk to me for a couple years, you motherfucker?
Well, I don't know, dude.
I'm not leaving
Life
the
happens,
States.
bro. Yeah, you're right. I saw this one meme that was like, reasons to stay in Illinois. Open his book, family.
Close.
Close.
That's
about
it. Spirit podcast and family.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. A lot of people nowadays, they're saying, like, people make it seem like families. I mean,
It's
okay,
expendable,
granted,
bro.
everyone agrees family's like a good reason not to move.
It's expendable.
That's Damo's unpopular opinion. Do I have that? Is that right?
Yeah, it is.
But nowadays, like, that actually, back in, like, if you go to Poland, and I've never been to Poland, this is just what I've heard.
Yeah.
If you go to Poland, people live in houses about, I don't know, like a small house, so about, I'd say half the size of yours.
Mm-hmm.
And they live with like 5 generations. They live with like 5 generations
Oh my
of
god.
people. Yeah. So
There's-
it's cramped as shit.
There's 3 in this house, and I'm about ready to flip my shit.
Yeah, but that's a weird, isn't that a weird thing though in
That's
America? We don't
silly.
have
No.
anything like that.
Over there.
Which
Yeah.
I think it's good and bad. It's good because you're right, the space, it would drive me nuts if I'd live with like 3 generations of family. It's like, no way.
Oh, thanks.
But on the other side, we're kind of losing that sort of
Oh, yeah,
connectedness you have with your
100%,
family,
yeah.
big time.
You are.
And that's kind of, it's kind of big. It's kind of a
I
sad
don't know.
loss.
We talked about this on the show. I see family the same way that maybe I don't see it in the same way a lot of people do, but it's like I'm not gonna take abuse from someone and just say, oh, they're family. I'm not going to do that. I don't think you should subject yourself to something from someone that is your family. Because if they're your family, they're
Well,
not
you
going to be
can't
doing...
choose your family.
Yeah,
Well,
I know.
so
but
that's-
again, if they're your family, they shouldn't be doing something that they know is going to,
Well, granted, yeah. But I think that when it comes down to family, it's a weird game, right? Because these people share your genetics. They're going to understand you more than anyone else in the world understands you, other than your wife other than your wife.
Your podcast
and
partner.
even your wife is plug.
We just had an awesome moment.
Technically, I mean, your wife's family, but she's the only person who's not related to you, who's going to understand you better than actual family. And just because of that genetic component, and yeah, family could get a little bit abusive, I guess, in just I guess a clean term of just yelling at you about shit and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, there is something to be said for that, and also, even the people that yell at you typically would probably, like I saw a meme, it goes, I would give my kidney for my siblings, but they sure as shit ain't taking a foot in my room.
Exactly.
Well,
Right,
it's
exactly.
the definition of love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Well, yeah, I understand, like, you deal with things to a certain extent. I get that. But my problem is like, you come at it, you can be very different than your family. So, you know the other person's differences. You know the other person's, I wouldn't even say downfalls, difference of opinion. I think with this election, a lot of people found out the difference of their opinion with their family and relatives. But you just get down to a difference of opinion, and it matters enough to one person where now they have to change or try and change your outlook on things. And if they can't, then they're just going to berate you and belittle you on Facebook in a passive-aggressive way without actually calling you out. And then sometimes calling you out when you've done nothing for the call-out.
Seems like you're talking from experience.
Exactly. I'm talking 100% from experience. It's unnecessary. It's like you're left, I'm right, you're atheist, I'm Catholic. Let's talk about the weather. Like, why the fuck do you need to change my perspective? I'm not trying to change your perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
It's that kind of thing that makes me go, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't want it.
yeah, that's a thing though where I wonder if families were closer from the start, if they would have that sort of conflict.
Super close family over here, and then, some just space, I guess, proximity made you not so close. But that's the thing. We all knew each other's differences 10 years ago. Our differences, our views have not changed over 10 years. So
Well, it's
why?
weird that even this left and right thing, you can't even even talk to your family about it, dude.
Exactly. I
Like, it's
don't need
becoming
to,
that much of a thing
I
where
don't
it
need
separates
to.
family.
I don't need to talk about it.
Well,
Literally.
it's the reason why people get so involved with politics to a degree where they'll actually be willing to cut people off is because it's indicative of a lot more than just, oh, I don't think we should allow immigrants to come over the border, or I think we should. It's because it's indicative of a deeper worldview where you don't believe in some core belief that they do believe in, and nobody's going to give that up without a fight, and people are going to get pissed that you disagree because they think
Right.
you're causing the downfall of America or
Right.
whatever.
It's just, but that's what I'm saying. Is like the views have not changed in the past 10 years, and the 10 years ago was pretty good. Everything was pretty good familial wise. Now it's not, but one person's making a muck of it when the other didn't before.
So do you think that
Why?
it actually has to be a thing where this is where I don't agree. This is why I don't like politics, where you don't agree with every single thing that another person agrees with, and that makes a sense where you can't even talk to them and have a conversation with them.
Personally, I don't care.
Exactly. Like Tommy and
I
I
don't-
have differences on the political side on everything. You and I probably do.
Yeah.
But we're still friends.
Right. I don't.
And we can actually have a conversation
Right.
about it. And we're not like every time Tommy and I have a pot debate, we dab each other up and go, "Bro, I got you either way." You know?
Right.
And this fact that we can still he's on our podcast. Right. You know? This goes into any terms. The fact that you have a disagreement with somebody and you take it that serious enough where you can't even actually have a conversation about anything else.
Right.
You can't have a relationship with them
Right.
just because you have a different political
Get it?
side of things.
Don't get
That's
it.
weird, dude.
Yeah, it does not matter to me their political leaning. Do I agree with it? No, but the fact that they need to make it so much a part of their identity
Yeah.
that it's like, oh, I can't talk to you anymore, or oh, I'm going to badmouth you. That's what I don't need. That's what makes me go, family's expendable. I don't need to keep getting punched in the face. I don't need to be disrespected over and over again just because we're blood.
And I think social media has a huge component of that. The fact that they can go behind your back and comment on your shit, you know, and you're not talking face to face, which I believe how families should and friends and anybody you have a relationship should communicate. And now this whole Facebook thing, Instagram, Twitter thing, you can comment.
Well, also, at the same time, the person that I'm arguing with really doesn't like to look at logical fact, so that makes it hard. Yeah. Like, we can have difference of opinion of, like, how income should be dispersed or taxes or whatever, but when we're talking about, like, you know, illegal immigration as opposed to legal immigration, and you're calling me a Nazi, homophobe, xenophobe, loser, bigot, I can't have that kind of conversation with you.
Yeah, well, as far as the family side of that goes, I feel like that's one of those things where it's just human nature. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You know, you shouldn't have someone going after you like that and then thinking they can get away with it just because they're family. But as far as the discourse in America goes, just on a broad scale, if you talk to most people nowadays and you don't really know your shit, and you talk to someone who disagrees with you, you're gonna get fucked. Yeah. It's gonna not end well. No aspect of it is gonna end well for you. And it's a modern thing. Like, if you look at I'm not Thomas Aquinas, anybody?
Not.
He did this. He had this in the medieval times. They had this method of disputing called it was like quaestio disputata. It was Latin. I'm not.
You're definitely
sure.
outside.
Not 100% sure how to pronounce
realm of this podcast.
I'm bringing class to the podcast. Actually,
thank you.
Love it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Perspective.
I'm helping you.
Please. Preach.
But anyway, the idea is you take the best argument you can find for your opponent's position, and then you argue against their position with the actual, like, what you believe is true. So instead of just finding the immigration debate and going, they're a racist, so therefore they believe people shouldn't come over the border, then going, well, racism is wrong, therefore people should come over the border. Instead of doing that, they'd use a more complex argument. They'd say something along the lines of, they don't think people should come over the border because, like, it'd change the culture or it'll hurt, I don't know, low-wage workers. And then they would respond to that by saying, I don't think it will, for XYZ reasons. Gotcha. And we've lost any semblance of trying to identify and understand the opposition's
I think we've just lost the ability to debate.
Well, yeah,
in
that's
a respectful,
what it comes down to.
Just in a respectful manner.
Well, it's the ability to have a conversation with people,
like
because
Mike
you're talking in this word box now with people that disagree with you.
Yeah, Mike and I had a debate / discussion on the show, and our old coworker. And it was amicable and it was fine, and we disagreed, but we are friends. It's fine. I mean, I had a discussion about abortion at Harper College, and it was fine. Everyone walked away without feelings hurt, but everyone got their point across. But I think it's just now become such a, it's like the identity politics, where it's become such a part of our being that if you disagree with someone, it's like, I'm not gonna speak with them.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is like, I went to CLC.
Yeah.
And I had 2 debates about abortion, which were really good. I mean, yeah, granted, nothing really got accomplished there, but both people walked away feeling like their point, like I felt like it was a good debate, and I'm sure they did too. And then there was one time where I had a debate. I was talking to one person, and it was super strange. All of a sudden, there were like a bunch of people nearby, not close enough where they were involved in the conversation, but just in the vicinity. And so I started talking to this one person, and we're having a debate about abortion. And then another person hops in. So now I'm debating 2 people. I'm like, it's still fine. It's CLC, so they're both pretty dumb. So I'm still able to handle it.
Fair.
So hey, I went to CLC, so I can't, I can't diss CLC, but the students there, something to be desired. But I'm debating 2 of them, and I'm able to handle it. And then a third person jumps in.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, okay, getting a little hard to keep track of who's talking. And then and then by the time it was over, there were about 7-8 people all talking the pro-abortion side very passionately. Which
is scary.
And I couldn't, I wasn't scared.
Well, no, I'm talking about you're very passionate about killing
about killing babies. But I'm saying, like, yeah, true. But in that moment, I wasn't, like, scared, but looking back in it, I probably should have been, because they were freaking pissed. It wasn't like oh, we all have our differing opinions. We just want to speak at once. It was, they were shouting, yelling, screaming, pointing.
It's like, just think about what you're arguing and what they're arguing. I think we should save babies' lives and maybe, not kill them. No, we should definitely kill them because it's our bodies. Okay, well, we can't really have that discussion because we're on two different areas right now. It's difficult to have that conversation with people in general just because, like, what are you arguing for? The murder of the helpless?
Well, another reason why it's difficult to argue the pro-abortion case, or the pro-life case, is because whenever you argue it, by default, you're saying the other person's okay with murder. Like, if you're a self-respecting person, which, granted, some of them aren't, but if you're a self-respecting person, you're not going to take that sitting down.
Right, but that's the thing. Is like if you're gonna be okay with abortion, you at some point gotta have to look that in the mirror. You have to look that at its face.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing here, guys. Yeah. I kind of almost have like slightly more respect for the people that are like, I don't care if it's a living thing. Okay, well, you're a terrible person. We can admit that. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, great. Like, but the people that are just like, it's not a human being. Okay, well, now you're just wrong.
I'd rather talk to someone smart.
Yeah, I'd just rather talk to someone who's honest about their opinion of murdering the helpless. Like, it's fine. But the people that are like, it's not a human being, those are people like, okay.
Do you think a responsibility aspect is a huge part of it?
Responsibility
of actually having the baby?
Yeah. You know, wants to be responsible.
See, that's what gets me going is like you're basically running away from the responsibility part of it.
Right. It's not like pregnancy is a surprise with the action you're doing. It's the only way.
It's not like, how did I get pregnant? Right, did we kiss the wrong way?
Yeah, it's like it's the only.
You looked at me weird that one time.
It can only happen through one action. So what are you talking about? So I don't know.
You're either wearing 2 condoms or you weren't wearing one at all.
Exactly. Exactly. You guys ready to end this thing?
Might as well.
All right, guys. Follow us on Twitter at Spirit_podcast. YouTube is the Spirit Podcast. The Instagram is Spirit Radio Podcast. Send us your questions, comments, concerns, hate mail, fan mail to the Instagram because I don't want to look at it. So,
thank you, our guest, Tommy, for being on.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
See you in the next one, guys. Bye.
Peace.
Everybody, well, don't you know it's me now? Yeah, who's it? Well, he's back with a brand new beat now.